So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Bandwidth. I am your host, Rosie. So excited to be back with you for another week. We have a great show in store for you. Some housekeeping items. So, if you are not subscribed to our channel, please make sure that you are subscribed. Also, follow us on our IG page, which is Faulkner_Rosie. If you have any questions, please let us know and ask them. We will get to them during the conversation and also at the end. So we definitely want your engagement. And also, if you know of one person that could benefit from this episode, please share it with them. So let's dive in. The title of this episode is It's Just You, How to Record a Great Video. And we have Carolyn here to talk about her experience with doing video alone. So Carolyn is a thrifty petite gal. She is the creator of DC Vegan Life. So let's welcome her to the show. Welcome, Carolyn, to the Bandwidth.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me. And this is so exciting, Rosie. It's so great again to collaborate with you and be able to talk with you even in this COVID world. I was looking at the throwback photos of the event where we first met, and I was just getting all like warm inside and also like, oh, like I wish we could all like be together again, hugging. But it feels so good to be here. So thank you so much again and for such a great intro. To elaborate a little bit more on it, my name is Carolyn. Yes, I run the one of DC's vegan Instagram accounts called DC Vegan Life, where I highlight all things local in the DMV, whether it's grocery sightings or small businesses. That is the focus with a plant-based or vegan really big focus on that. And then I run my personal Instagram called Petite Punk, where yes, I focus on all things thrifty, all things petite, all things cheap, and it's a lot of me dancing and rocking my Goodwill thrifty looks, talking about petite style and the challenges of being petite and all that good stuff. And then I also am the senior manager of communications and community engagement at Goodwill of Greater Washington. So I live the thrift life. I do it 9 to 5, and I do it afterwards 2-4-7 on the weekends. So thank you again, seriously, for having me here today. It's such an honor, and I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Like you said, it's so great to collaborate again. So I'm excited. So let's dive in, because I know that this episode is going to help so many people, because when you first start off, you don't have any money. You're just trying to see if this is something that you really want to do. So you're not going to invest in, getting a photographer and things like that. So being creative and being able to hit angles and different things like that, you have to be resourceful for what you have. So let's just start from the beginning. What setup do you need if you are all alone and need to do your videos?
So I would say that it really depends on what your goals are. I feel like when I started, I didn't, very tight budget, still on a tight budget. I'm the same place where I am when I started in terms of the tools that I use. But in order to have a great, take a great video, well, number one key for me is I love taking advantage of natural light. That is the biggest, I feel like that's like the biggest tool that I use, because it will make or break the color in a video or a photo. So whenever I take videos, I aim to do them during the daytime or the early morning, where the light is not as warm, where it really captures vibrant colors. Afternoon too works, but the sun is going down throughout the day, so it does create a warmer tone. And I take videos during the day. So it's like not an actual like tool per se, but like the natural light is really just something that I highly recommend. Like whenever you're trying to take a video or a photo, get it when it's the daytime typically, especially for anything like outfit looks and fashion stuff. I wear a lot of bright colors on my Instagram and in all my outfits, so that natural light, like I said, will really bring out the vibrancy. In terms of tools, I mean, if you have your phone, I just use my phone. That's all I use. I got this Okay, I'm so late to the game. I just got one of these. My friend gave it to me as a gift, and it is like changing my life. It is changing my life. So one of these
Hmm.
little popper things, keep one of those on your phone to keep your camera if you want to prop it upwards or whatnot.
Hmm. And how does
But
that work? That is for a stand. It's like a stand because I see people always holding that. You talk about you late to the game. I still don't have one. So I thought it helps you hold it better, but it's not to hold the
it
phone.
does.
Okay.
So like here it can like rest on things like that. Like if you want to
Okay.
watch something or like kind of I know I'm at an angle, but it can also lean up too a little bit. So
Okay.
it does provide that. Like if you have like a table and you want to take a video, you can just rest your phone
Yeah.
and then keep it there, and you don't have to like put like what I usually do is put a water bottle or like book behind it. So this is great, and then what's also great about this is so I have a vegan food Instagram,
Mhm.
and one of the things that's very uh, top performing is those videos where you break open a piece of food and you can see the pool of the fake cheese or like the chocolate melty, that is just like the good stuff. But it's hard to do it by yourself because you're the one breaking it open. So with this tool, I use um I will like I can't really show it here, but I will like put it on the table, or like I will use as a rest to put on a table and then break a food item under the table. So it's basically some sort of support. I can't show it now, but like I said, like this is like so handy and dynamic and useful. Like I just alluded to though, I'm like looking around me like what I can use, like anything like a water bottle or like a book I use to prop my phone up against things all of the time. If you don't have it, obviously a tripod is like a key tool, but if your budget doesn't allow for a tripod or you just don't have the space for it, because I live in a studio and I just don't have the space for a lot of things. But I do have books, I do have chairs, I do have platforms and cushions. So I will make a makeshift tripod and position it and make sure I go back and forth and make sure the angles are right, so that I can take a video and just put it on the selfie way and just watch, so you can see yourself in the video and just do dry runs and do takes. So those are huge for me. I don't use any microphone attachments. I have one. I got like a little selfie iPhone kit on sale at Best Buy like 2 years ago. It has some lenses on it, which is very handy, and a mini tripod that you can put on a table. It has a microphone. I've used it many times for work related events. But I find that when you're like on the go sometimes and you can't carry all this stuff, I just use what's around me to make the most of the situation.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was too helpful, but it's really about, like you were saying, being resourceful in the DIY ethic, seeing what's around you and making magic happen.
Yeah, no, that is definitely helpful. Need all the tips. And like you said, just figuring it out, like you said, if something don't work, propping up something and you have to get that shot and that video so you can, share it with everybody. So
Exactly.
yeah.
There have been so many times where I've propped my phone up in between like tree branches outside, or like on like a little like hose pipe, or on my car like in the windshield in like a parking lot, like whatever you got to do, and just like see if you can make it work. There are no limitations. There's always areas where you can securely rest your phone.
Exactly. So, with your videos and to help others, what message should you be trying to send?
Oh, so messages to send.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the content that you want to create. So on my fashion page, I think of my brand first, or think of like my personality, who I am. So the message I want to convey are like outfit photos or like my playfulness and personality, and that's what I use to take videos, just that attitude and that mindset, and just like my vision. For my personal videos, on my fashion stuff, I don't really storyboard too much. I just have an idea. It's a lot of music playing in the room to get me hyped up, and like dancing involved and like shaking it out. And that helps convey personality. It's a lot of takes. It's a lot of, oh, that I didn't look right. My foot's cut off in that video. So I think what I'm just trying to say is it's all about your brand and your style and your personality, because you want that to come through the screen. For food, because I have fashion and I have a food one, a lot of the content that I create is, well, it's all vegan food, and a big misconception with vegan food is that it's like may not taste that great, or it's made out of like sand or like all this plant stuff. I don't understand, how does it like, I thought y'all just eat tofu and like beans, which is so not true.
Mhm.
And I like to show that through my videos, especially the breaking open and just showing like donuts and stuff. Is I like to show the shine. I should like to show the glimmer on food, the details. Like I said, melty chocolate. Like people are like, that's vegan. I didn't know vegan chocolate melted like that. I'm like, yeah, here's this video. Like it's still cocoa butter. It's like still
Yeah.
luscious.
So you
So
educating as well. You're
exactly.
educating your audience as well.
Yeah. Exactly. And so like that is what it's really the purpose. It's what I'm trying to convey. It's what I have in my mind and my vision. My goal of DC Vegan Life is I want vegan food to look good, to look like it's drooling on itself, to look like it's sweating because it wants to eat its own, like the donut wants to eat itself. And so that's what I go in with, and I try and make sure that the food is shiny and the props look right, a little bit of food artistry right there, and then I just go for it and use that natural light. So
Yeah. And I agree. I just think it will be different for each person. Just like with me, I have the fashion part too, but then I also have the video. And it's just like doing the reels and just learning different things.
yes,
It's always going to be something new. So you just have to take the time to figure it out. And it looks crazy when you're first starting. You don't know what in the world it's doing, but you just keep at it. So I just think whatever your message is, my suggestion would be you're not the first person. You don't want to
exactly.
mimic anybody, but you can kind of see what other people are doing and then put your own spin on it. So that's what I always recommend people that are just starting off. Just look and see what other people are doing and then, do your own thing.
Amen. Amen. There's so much great content out there and so much great inspiration from others. You're not reinventing the wheel. You're not. But you have to not get bogged down and be too hard on yourself when you make a video that may not look like somebody else's.
Yeah.
There's some, like you were saying, Instagram Reels. I'm like new to that game and I'm like really having fun with it. It's so fun to make these video collages. And there are some reels and I'm like, there are so many captions popping up and so many effects, which is great. But then you also need to think about like your brand. Like, is all that stuff that fits who you are? Like I'm very much the gal of like, I'll make video clips and put like text pop-ups, but I'm not a filter gal, but that's just because I know that's who I am and I get a little too overwhelmed. So never feel like don't ever feel like you're not doing the most, because you have to be authentic and true to you and not too hard on yourself. So
Yeah, and good point. And that leads me to my next question as far as how do you keep your videos fun but still professional?
sure, definitely. So the outfits, the looks, the lighting, um, but definitely. So wait, for some reason, like I was like answering and then I forgot what the question was, which is so weird. It was like video amnesia.
No,
Can you can you please tell me again?
yeah. How do you keep your videos fun but still professional?
That was the part. Fun but still professional.
Yes.
So music for me especially is like a driving force of my vibe and like my attitude. Like I always put on like I love 80s R&B, and I love like things. I love like Shaka Khan is like in my like I always play her, or like Tina Marie, or like my little anthems before I take videos, because my videos, it's like I love like dancing and showing off outfits and like looks and stuff like that. And I find that the music really boosts my confidence. So I always play music before and then I add it to the video. So that's a big key thing for me to keep it fun and that energy, because I know that especially with Instagram Reels and whatnot, you can do so many fun movements, but it's easy to just do this or like just do this. But music makes me like loosens you up. So I recommend that highly. I think outfit choice as well is a big thing for, because our accounts are public, they're not private, so you never know who's looking at our pages, whether it's a boss, a fellow influencer, a fellow colleague, your mom, like a cousin. So at least with my outfits, I make sure to wear ones that reflect my personality. But if my mom saw it, that she would be like, okay, that's all right, that's cool. Or like if my boss saw it, it would be kosher, it would be a-okay. So I take that stuff into account too. From a food standpoint, i don't I wouldn't say my videos are like, I don't know if professional is the right word, but I keep them fun just by way of, like I said, it doesn't take a lot to make food look good if you have the right angles and whatnot, and if you have the right lighting, and if you get that perfect break in something. So I think to maintain that type of vibe and that type of consistency, it's a lot of rehearsing or doing things over. Or like if you want to take a food photo and you're supporting a local business, buy 2 cookies so that you can try the cookie break with one, and then you're like, okay, I got the texture, and then you do the next one. So
Yeah, I do agree. It's something about practice makes perfect. Like you said, you may think it's only going to take 20 minutes, but shoot, an hour later, you still trying to get or perfect something to your standards. And similar
exactly.
to you, it's just as far as, my clothing, it's just what my, taste is. Everybody will be different, but
Exactly.
I guess it just depends on what your goal is. Like, if you want to work with sponsors and brands and different things like that, then you may want to be conscious about it. But if you're just doing it for fun, you may not care about collaborations and different things like that. Then, hey, do you? You know what I'm saying? But I just
Exactly.
think yeah, what your personal goal is.
Exactly. And I feel like I've seen, like, with the proliferation of all these more Instagram tools and social media and more influencers, like as our account as Instagram becomes more popular, there are more great inspiring individuals in the community that can inspire one another, or and teach one another. And I think that, a crisp photo and a crisp video using like nice cameras and whatnot, that does, I feel like, scientifically, like, it garners, gets more engagement and whatnot. But I've seen that brands too are looking for the authentic micro influencers. They're looking for authentic accounts to partner with and collaborate with. So sometimes it's not always a video or photo crispness that
Yeah.
will get you in the door. It's the authenticity. It's people feeling you and your genuine nature and your vibes, and that's what will help you get some partnerships. At least that's what I've seen, and that's what. So back in the day, I worked in the marketing agency world, and we worked with influencers. And while I wasn't directly on that team, I noticed that sometimes, like, the most crisp photos and the crispest video, crispix sounds like cereal, crispix. Those videos, sometimes the brand, it wasn't like a top priority. It was just about the content and the engagement and the excitement on things. And like you said, it's about like your goals and your purpose.
Yeah. And I know we touched on the angles a little bit, but I want to circle back to see if you could provide any more guidance, because I know a lot of people are, like I said, starting off by themselves. So I know you have the tool on the back of your phone, but is it anything else that you do to get those angles that you do so well?
Sure. Well, I'll say that it's sometimes the unexpected makes the greatest angle. So if you could only find a curb to put your phone on and it's like slanted, sometimes just try some like videos and photos like that, and it will create. Sometimes it creates really interesting compositions if you just like let nature do its thing. Yes, we talked about this to do great angles. I'll always, at least always do, because of the eye, everybody's looking at videos on their phone and whatnot. So take videos in this format vertically. Always try and position. I always try and get my full outfit. If I'm doing a full outfit video, I make sure that, at least, especially too, in the in with Instagram Reels, it won't show the whole screen. It will only show this on somebody's feed. So I always try and make sure the most exciting parts of the visual of my composition are even in the smaller box that shows up on like an Instagram grid. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if I can show it on here. Well, it's actually a little bright. But I always like make sure that the best pieces or like the things I want people to focus on are like right in this like almost like in a box. And then
Mm-hmm.
everything else on the outskirts, like for Instagram Reels, you can see that when you pull up actually Instagram Reels as opposed to like somebody's grid or their feed. Um, in terms of angles too, for food and for vegan stuff in particular, the close-ups, the better. I always, like I said, with the vegan food too, I don't take any horizontal photos. I take most all photos, so it takes up the whole screen, so that when somebody's swiping by, they see that cookie or like that sugar on that snickerdoodle like popping out, like you just want to eat it through your phone. So always the vertical photos, even with sandwiches or cookies, I try and position them so they're like this on the screen or angled. Like I said, with angles, food that looks like that it's drooling on itself. I try and get that shimmer. I'll wait for a cookie to melt a little bit to get that gloss or that glow. So it's little things like that, but really just taking advantage of of the mobile device's screen. That format will get you, at least in my view, it will get you the quickest like attention, or people will see it faster.
Yeah. And
So
what I also like about you and when you take your pictures, even though you may be out of frame, you always like lift up your feet so you can see your
yes.
shoes. Or I've seen other people, hold up their shoes. So you have to just be creative. So I wanted to make sure I get that in that you definitely, we see what your shoes look like.
Yes, exactly. And like to your point too, as well, like lifting up your foot, or also like if you were taking a video and you can see it because it's in like selfie mode and you see that your feet are being cut off, I will like, and not everybody, and like I'm petite, I don't know, it's like the gymnast in me from like when I was a kid, but like I will like contort my body in ways like this so
Yes.
like it shows up on the whole screen. So if you got to do that to get your shoe in the picture, like, and it creates for a more interesting photo too. If you're like, oop, I'm like messing me up over here, but like just like getting your body in the full frame in an interesting way, like why not like use it as aerobics too, and to get the full picture, to get the full outfit. So
Yes. Yes. So how do you mix it up?
how do I mix it up?
Mhm.
Like, let's see. Well, like we were talking about, getting inspiration from other content creators is a huge thing for me. They have so many ideas about like you can do thrift hauls and put the prices popping up, or you can just do like you showing off like hair accessories or something or whatnot. So it's really, I don't like, you don't have to sit down and rack your brain for new ideas. If there are people that you follow that have, that are creating exciting content, just try it out yourself. And that's just like what I always do. If I'm like, I no more of these dance and outfit pictures, I'll just try something different and do like a thing of sunglasses, or do something where it's just like a tip for something. It's just about experimenting with different types of content and things that you're interested in, and seeing what resonates with others. My like dancing videos seem to be the most popular. My moves aren't even that great. Maybe it's like the music plus the outfit plus the dancing, but it's really just about experimenting. And if something doesn't get the amount, at least on Instagram, the amount of likes that you usually get, like that's okay. You're just trying. Like the sky won't fall. Like you're like, it maybe because getting fewer likes can be disheartening, and like it makes me upset. Like in the end, like it's okay. Like you can take it down if you want, but just try, just experiment, and that only makes your social media muscle stronger.
Yeah. And I just always want to encourage people that you're going to feel silly, like you're doing
Yes,
something different. So just know that you're going to be looking goofy, but that's okay. I
exactly.
really, when I step outside my comfort zone, I always get messages that be like, oh my God, it just seems like you're a real person. Like, yeah, I'm a real person. It's just people like to see your authentic self. And so I think when you let your guard down and try new things and let your audience see the real you, you're winning. So,
Exactly. Amen
yeah.
to that. It is, yes. Yes to like feeling silly. At first it's like, that move was like, I don't know, or that facial expression. You're like, but you would make that facial expression all the time in real life. People see it. Like you can't, you like it won't be interesting if you're just like, if you're unauthentically, if this is you, that's okay. But if you're just like this all the time and like you can't feel it, like it feels forced, like then don't do it. Like be like silly, like do what you know, just be you and keep trying. You'll get more comfortable with it over time.
Exactly. I don't know. Was that a song? Get silly. Get silly.
I'm like really into this lately. This is me being silly, this weird like box thing.
Yes. So when is the best time to create videos in your
during the
during the day?
during the day.
Okay.
During the day. Go outside, open your blinds. If you only have like one window in your place, which I feel like I only have one video, it's one long window, but like go up to that window if you have to. Find a window somewhere. Take your phone outside. I know it's been snowy and rainy, and if you can't find that natural light, like you can use lamps too. Like right now, there's a lamp right in front of me to make sure, because I was in this dark corner. So like utilize lamps too, but like I said, like, and if the natural light isn't working for you that day, for me, sometimes I'm just like, I just won't do it today.
Yeah.
I'll just wait until the sun comes, and then that will be the perfect time for me to shine, and I'll feel better too because of that. So during the day, aiming more towards the morning. Some of these overcast days have been great because the light isn't warm, and like I was saying earlier, it allows the colors to vibrate more and be more vibrant and brighter, and then you can edit them in post production or and pop them even more. But if a video is warm, it's hard to edit that and make it cooler. So always during the day, in the morning, overcast days are great. Those are when I take my videos.
Okay. And how do you know when you have nailed it, that you have created a great video?
I don't think that you ever really know. At least for me. For me, I don't. For fashion stuff, I don't ever really know. I put something together. There's a move in there that I'm like, yeah, I wanted that dance move on there. Like I looked like that one was the smoothest, and like, oh, you could see my whole outfit in there. I was at, at the end of the day, you could use so many takes, and if you are like me, sometimes where like nothing is ever like the best. I'm just like, I'll just like go with it. I don't have all the time in the world. This one has the best color, has X, Y, and Z, and
Mhm.
I'll just like put it out in the ether. When I know that a food video is good, it's when, like I said, like it's the perfect composition in a video. The food, you can see the cheese pool or the chocolate drip. If there was the other day, I was breaking open like a chocolate something, and like a little, or it was like a pupusa, and like a little piece of cheese like popped out, and I was like, that's the video, because it looked like something that it wasn't vegan. It looked like something that you would get in dairy form. So stuff like that, like little surprising moments. Sometimes those little surprising moments are the things that make the video, and you're like, okay, like here we go. But like I said, there's a lot of trial and error. You could do it so many times, but sometimes like if you have something that's good enough that meets X, Y, and Z qualifications and criteria, just let it out and see how it performs.
Yeah. Good, 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 good. Okay, so we have community questions. And one second, because I want to make sure I get her name. So, Closet Therapy by Tiffany had a couple of questions for us during the show. So, I want to get to those questions. So, her first question was, what are your thoughts about the day of week to record?
Sure. That's so interesting. I think it depends on my energy. But like earlier in the week, I'm like, it's like I'm vibing differently. I'm like, I'm here for it. For me, maybe it just depends on your content. Like, depends on when you want to release it, and it depends on your content's calendar.
Mhm.
There's sometimes where I'm just like on social media breaks. So I'm just like, I can't post like for like a few weeks, and then that's okay. We all need to take that time. And for the past few weeks, I've been like going. I've been like really motivated. So like, and I've been doing it like every other day, or like every 3 days I'll make a little video. So it really depends on your schedule. And what days work best for you. Like some days during the week I have more open, so, or I know that I have a slot in between morning meetings at like 10 a.m. where I can take a video on, like, I'm on a Tuesday. That's when I'll take advantage of that opening. So
Yeah. No, and I agree. I'm a firm believer of a schedule, because your week will get away from you. So I agree with you. Just having a schedule, it just depends on what works for you, and just like blocking out those times to say, okay, I'm going to do this reel, I'm going to do this video, or I'm going to do my interviews with whoever. So I just think it
exactly.
depends on your schedule. So I agree with you. And then her other question was, as far as formats, what do you prefer?
So format as like uh like how the screen is, like this or like this, or like I guess, if, like, to clarify what type of format rather.
I don't know. So we're going to go with that. And then I guess format as far as also like if it's Instagram, Facebook, I don't know because
Yeah.
she's not here. So we can answer it both ways.
Okay, cool. Instagram, definitely. That's my platform of choice. Facebook is great for getting articles, in my opinion. At least for me, for my behaviors. I like reading articles on there and getting local news and seeing about events and stuff like that. But in terms of format and camera orientation, vertical is always for me because it mimics the iPhones or the whatever type of device you have. It mimics that screen's format, meaning that you can take more advantage of the screen and the landscape or the canvas that you have to work with.
Yeah, no, and I definitely agree with that. But sometimes, like for my videos, I like to have it like horizontal because when
Yeah,
you're editing in, I use Adobe Premiere. So when I do that, if I have it vertical, I have to have something. You have the little black space where you have to fill it.
exactly.
So it just depends on, what you're trying to do. But like you said, if I'm doing something that I'm doing a reel or something like that, then I'm definitely vertical. It just
Exactly.
depends on, what my end goal is. So it's always thinking like, what am I going to use this for? And then,
Exactly.
yeah, I adjust. But like you, IG is my jam.
And
I need to be more on Facebook. That's one of my things that I said I wanted to do this year. So my three will be IG, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm
oh,
done with
good.
everything else. Like it's a lot.
It's important to be in multiple spots because you get
Yeah.
different audiences in both that can be inspired by your content and your knowledge. And to your point too with the landscape, yes, landscape is perfect for like we're on here, like on YouTube, because that's the format that videos are on YouTube. And on Facebook, it's better to have horizontal videos on there as well. um, at least from what I've seen with uploading them and doing Facebook Lives, that always works best. But yeah, amen. Exactly, echoing what you were saying.
And then her last question was how much time to record? And I think we kind of hinted on that too, but if you want to, kind of like regurgitate a little.
Sure. No, definitely. Well, one, it's you have to think first of what type of video do you want to create, or do you want to do an interview? Do you want to do a longer form piece of content where you're talking about knowledge for a longer period of time? And it's also thinking about the different limitations of the social media platforms. Like Reels, it's like, what is it, like 15 seconds? So you got to piece together as many videos in 15 seconds as you can for it to tell a good story. And that may take you an hour to get that perfect 15-second reel. It depends on the time that you have allotted and the goal and the format. I mean, IG Live, on Instagram, IGTV, you can have longer videos, like an hour, I think is what it is. So that affects your time. That could take like a whole day to record a video for an hour. And then like Instagram, what is it on the feed? It's like a minute or yeah, it's like a minute. I think that's the time limitation. So whatever you can fit in there and whatever the time that you have allotted. So thinking about that, but sometimes those Instagram reels for 15 seconds, those can take all day too. But my schedule doesn't permit that. I'm just like, my time will be my savior here. It will save me from myself.
Yes, yes.
So
So, any final thoughts for us, Carolyn?
yes, I will say that you don't need all the equipment. You don't need all that stuff to make a great and exciting video or take a great photo. I know it can sound cliche, but it's like the authenticity and the energy that you bring will really vibrate through any type of video, no matter what type of equipment that you have. Like you can, if you don't really have any lights or any light sources, places like TJ Maxx and whatnot have selfie kits and whatnot. Those are great tools to purchase. But I've been doing this for I feel like I sound like wise, but I'm not. I've been doing this for several years, and I still haven't purchased a lot of the tools that I probably should have. But it's based on like one, I'm really frugal, like super frugal, but that's okay. It's just
Mhm.
about using the tools that you have around you, being resourceful, having that DIY mentality and ethic, and you can always make things happen. And I feel like I could go on and on, but it's about DIY, being resourceful, and having like a I can do this, I can make it work kind of attitude.
Yes, no, I definitely agree. And how can we support you? How can we get in contact with you?
So you can follow me on Instagram at petite_punk and at DC Vegan Life. So it's exactly how it sounds to spell it out. You can also get some thrift inspiration if I'm involved with, like I said, DC Goodwill and our lifestyle DIY fashion focused platform called Finding Your Good. You can find me on all those. Shoot me a message, say hello, follow me, I'll follow you, we can collaborate. Like I'm all about like let's make magic as a community together. We are all powerful as ourselves. When we come together as a community, we can really make a change and really inspire others. And so get at me on those. I'm just always excited to collaborate and meet new people. So
Yeah. Thank you so much, Carolyn. It was so good to chat with you again. and I,
thank you for, thank you
yeah,
for
and I
having me.
Not a problem. So there you go, guys. Another episode of The Bandwidth. If you're not following us, again, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, follow us on IG, Faulkner_Rosie. Make sure that you follow Carolyn as well. And if you know of one person that could benefit from this episode, please share it with them. And also in the comments section, let us know what your biggest takeaway from this episode is. So we will be back next week with another episode of The Bandwidth. So bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you again.